Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 10th April 2025. And before getting started, I want to remind you guys, we in Rathod Science Academy, we already started demo classes for Prelims cum Mains Foundation Course 2026 from April 8th. And it's going to be happen till year April 12th. That is for 5 days we are launching this. So try to use this opportunity, guys. And you can come to Academy for offline. And also you can download Rathod Science Academy app from Play Store for online demo classes. Don't forget. And now let us see the first article, guys. Yeah, see this title? Trump pauses global tariff, hits China harder. So this article is talking about what? Tariffs. Tariffs is nothing but tax or duty on imports or exports? On imports. So what is happening in geopolitics? US trade war, right? So as soon as Trump 2.0 era started, what he did? He started imposing of tariffs on different country goods. So what was the first announcement? He made that we are going to impose 25% of tariffs on goods from which countries? Mexico, Canada. And next he said extra 10%, that is 35% of tax on Chinese goods. And later on, what is the second announcement? Yes, iron and steel industries and as well as aluminium products, we are going to impose taxes. And actually 5 countries are getting affected because of this announcement. Which are those 5 countries? These 3 countries plus now India and UAE. Okay. And later on, what these countries said? So we are not going to keep silent. We are going to impose tit for tat tariffs. And even China said that, and even India said that. India said that from 2nd April onwards, it is going to become effect. Right? And now again, one more step taken by US. So now what US made was 125% of tariffs on Chinese goods. So 125%. Earlier it said just 35. Now it has increased to 125% tariff on Chinese goods. And one more important statement which is given by Trump is more than 80 countries, they requested US to make stall or like to resume that. So because of this, here now Trump said that, yes, we are going to pause. We are going to pause this global tariff for 90 days. But we are going to raise tariff on Chinese goods to 25%. So that is the thing which mainly said here. Okay. So just what you have to see earlier things. That is nothing but what is trade war. And next you have to see what are the reasons why US wants to impose tariffs on these goods. And next you have to see what is the impact of these tariffs. So in this impact, you have to see at the global level what is the impact. And next, what is the impact on India. And next you have to think about what are the measures to be taken. So if you see these things, then it is done. Already in our earlier classes, we had detailed discussions about that clearly. So I'm not going to see that, just revise those topics, guys. And this topic is important from which subjects? From GS paper 2 under IR and from GS paper 3 under economy. Okay. So now let us see next article. So actually I forgot to add article here, but here you can see the title of that article. Title says India ends transshipment facility for Bangladesh exports, cites congestion. Okay, so what this article is talking about? Transshipment facility. Okay, the important keyword here is transshipment facility. So this facility is between which countries? India and Bangladesh. Okay, if you draw the map of India, So here we have Bangladesh, right? So this is Bangladesh and this is India, right? So do we share direct boundary with this Bangladesh? Yes. So here, first of all, you have to see about which states of India are sharing boundary with this Bangladesh. So actually this article is saying that, so now India made an announcement that we are going to cancel this transshipment facility that we are giving to this Bangladesh. So what is transshipment facility? So here we have Bhutan, here we have Nepal, right? Yes. So if Bangladesh wants to export the goods, if Bangladesh wants to export the goods from Bangladesh to these countries like Bhutan and Nepal, so India gave permission to use our airports and as well as our roads. Okay. So that is called as transshipment facility. And when this facility had been started, in 2020, India gave the permission for Bangladesh to use our ports and as well as our roadways and railways to transport or to export the goods from Bangladesh to these countries like Bhutan and Nepal. So now what happened? So this facility is withdrawn. So why? If India gave the permission for our airports, for our ports, for our roadways to give the permission for exporting of Bangladesh goods, then what is the problem? There will be increasing of traffic congestion. It is nothing but increasing of traffic, right? So because of increasing of traffic in this region, what happens? Do it affects our exports or not? Our exports will be getting affected. And even time of delivery will be not reached. There is a decreasing of, that is nothing but more amount of time will be taken for the transporting of goods of ours. So because of this reason now, Indian government said that we are going to cancel this transshipment facility, which we started in year 2020 to Bangladesh. But actually it is not the real motive. The real motive is, which country we have here? Dragon country, China. So what happened in the recent past was, this Bangladesh now is under whose control? Yunus, Mohammed Yunus, right? So earlier who was the Prime Minister? Sheikh Hasina. So Sheikh Hasina was ousted, right? And finally now regime of Yunus is going on in this Bangladesh, right? So what happened? Yunus went to China. And in China, he said something about our northeastern states. So ego of India hurt it. And finally, we cancel this transshipment facility now to Bangladesh. So here you have to see what is this transshipment facility and in which year it had been started and what are the advantages and disadvantages of this transshipment facility. And you have to see what are the reasons which are cited by our government of India why they are going for cancelling of this facility. So from which subject we can see this, guys? From GS paper to under international relations, because India is sharing direct boundary with Bangladesh. And next one here is, you have to see this topic from GS paper 3 under economy, because whenever we are stopping this transshipment facility to Bangladesh, what happens? So for Bangladesh exports, it will become very tough, right? If it wants to export the goods to Nepal and as well as Bhutan now we are not allowing our roadways or land route. So it will be becoming hard or tough for this Bangladesh economy. That means it is also affecting global economy, right? So from economy point of view also, it is very, very important. Okay, now let us see this article. So India has withdrawn the transshipment facility. It had extended to Bangladesh. And what is the reason which cited here? There is increasing of traffic congestion in Indian airports and ports. So this thing which mainly said by Ministry of External Affairs. How diplomatically they said. See here. And if you see some details of this transshipment, so in which year it had been started, make a note. 2020. In 2020, India started allowing the transshipment of cargo from Bangladesh through Indian land customs stations, which would then be sent to their final destinations using Indian ports and airports. Indian ports and airports are using and they are going for exporting of goods. And this facility, which is very much essential for export of ready-made items from Bangladesh. So to which countries they are going to send? For Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. So these are the three countries that are getting exports by using our Indian land. Okay, so if you see the details or highlights of this article, the first one is we cancel this transshipment facility. So when it's going to come into effect from April 8th onwards, from April 8, 2025 onwards, it already came into effective. And this one here is, what are the reasons which cited by Ministry of External Affairs? That is logistical congestion. There is increasing of congestion or traffic in our airports. It is a primary reason for the withdrawal. So because of this, what happens? Will there any impact between India and Bangladesh relations? Obviously. So it is going to have impact on our bilateral trade also. And next one here is, actually there are some controversial remarks which are mainly made. That is about Bangladesh leader, that is Muhammad Yunus, advocating stronger ties with China, but we don't like that. So finally we did this cancellation of transshipment. And Indian leaders are also showing a strong dissent from Indian officials regarding Yunus comments regarding our northeastern states in China. Okay, so that is the thing that you have to remember. Yeah, see next article. Title says RBI cuts repo rate by 0.25%, trims GDP growth forecast. So actually earlier the GDP forecast of India is around 6.5%. But what happened? The new forecast which said that it is not 6.5%, it is 6%. So because of this, to boost our economic growth, so this is a decision which is taken by RBI. So let me write that. Okay, so here you can see. Okay, so let me write the details here. So this article is talking about, first one is GDP forecast. And next one is repo rate. You have to know these two concepts. So here we have certain organizations, they will release the forecast of our GDP growth in our country. What is GDP? GDP is nothing but overall final value of the goods and services which are produced in a country within the time. Time is 1 year. Within 1 year, whatever the final goods and services which are produced within a country, it accounts under GDP. Okay, so here earlier the GDP forecast was 6.7%, and now it had downgraded to 6.5%. And who gave this? IMF. You know about this IMF, right? International Monetary Fund. So not only International Monetary Fund, even SBI or even WB, that is World Bank, will be giving the forecast details. And now IMF said that we are going to decrease, we are going to have less growth this year. So the less growth means nothing but there is decreasing of growth in our country, right? So why there is decreasing of growth? Whenever there is decreasing of economic activities, there will be decreasing of growth happens, right? So now what is the responsibility of government and the responsibility of RBI? So they have to boost this economic activities. Whenever the steps taken by the government and RBI to boost economic activities, obviously it will lead to the increasing of GDP, right? Okay. So in this response, RBI took this decision. So RBI, what it did? It decreased 25 basis points. So 25 basis points is also called as 0.25% of decreasing of repo rate. And now the present repo rate is 6. Okay, the present repo rate is 6%. Okay, now what is this repo rate? So what is the repo rate? So here we have RBI. So this is RBI for example, and here we have banks. So we have RBI on one side and we have banks on one side. So whenever banks, they are getting loans, whenever banks are going to RBI to get the loans, so on this loans, will RBI will give it for free of cost? No, right? So now this banks, they have to pay interest rate on this loans, right? So this interest rate is called as repo rate. Okay, now you have understood what is repo rate. Repo rate is nothing but whenever the banks, they are going to RBI to get the loans, then on that loans they'll pay interest rate that is called as repo rate. So here you have to see the two conditions. In first conditions, what happens when repo rate is increased? So when repo rate is increased by RBI, then what happens? So now more interest rates need to be paid by the banks to RBI. That means nothing but increasing of money to be paid. So whenever they are paying more money, okay, banks now they are paying more money to RBI. So here whatever the leftover money is, higher or less, there will be less leftover money. That means whatever the loans which is given by these banks to people will be more or less, obviously less loans to people now. So let us take the second condition. So the second condition is decreasing of repo rate. Second condition is decreasing of repo rate. So whenever there is decreasing of repo rate, so now banks will pay more interest rate or less interest rate? Banks will pay less interest rate or less money. So whenever they are paying less money, they will be having more money with them or not? No, banks will have more leftover money. So whenever they are having more leftover money, so will they give now more loans or less loans? More loans. So what happens whenever they are giving more loans to people? So people will take the loans and they will do some activity. Okay. That means indirectly what happens? Economic activity in a country will be increased. So whenever economic activity is increased, obviously that will lead to economic growth. Yes or no? So is there any relation what the article said and what RBI is doing? So here if you go back and if you see, this article is saying that GDP forecast had been decreased. That means there is a sign of decreasing of economic growth and economic activities. So now RBI is also responsible for maintaining of economic growth, right? So for that, what RBI can do? RBI can decrease this repo rate. So because of this, now repo rate is 6. Earlier it is 6.25 and now it had been decreased to 6. So whenever there is decreasing of interest rates, then what happened? So banks now give more loans because they will be having more leftover money. So because of this, what happened? There is increasing of startups, increasing of entrepreneurship. So obviously it leads to more goods production in our country, more services providing, everything that will lead to overall economic growth. That is the thing which mainly seen here. Okay. And now let us see what are the things which are given here. RBI slashed the repo rate by 25 basis points and now it is 6%. So it is one of the important move which taken by RBI for what? For improving of economic growth and to decrease financial burden on the borrowers and as well as borrowers of home or auto or any other loans. Now they have to pay less interest to the banks. So actually what is the implication that you can get from decreasing of repo rate? So whenever there is decreased repo rate, then what happens? So what happens? We can encourage the borrowing and even people will be getting proper loans so that they can invest in some areas and better startup production or startups environment that we can create. And obviously we can stimulate economic activity in our country. First important point. And next one here is actually why this step taken by RBI. RBI is not blind, right? So because of the growth forecast that mainly showed that 6.7 to 6.5 decreased economic growth that had been showcased by IMF report. So because of this, yes, we have to take this step. And next one is in monetary policy of RBI, you will be coming across two types of policies. Okay, so what are those two types of monetary policies? So first one is accommodative. Next one is contractive or contraction. It is also called as expansionary. So here in monetary policy of RBI, we have two terms, accommodative and contractive. So expansionary monetary policy is nothing but whenever there is decreasing of interest rates, what happens? We are providing more money with the banks so that more loans. So this policy is called as accommodative or expansionary monetary policy of RBI. So in contrast, what is contractionary? So there will be increasing of interest rates. Whenever there is increasing of interest rates, money supply in the market is decreased and economic activity will be also stalled. So this is called as contractionary. So now whatever the step which is taken by RBI, that is decreasing of repo rate, which comes under this or that, it comes under accommodative or expansionary monetary policy. Okay, so that's the thing which mainly said. So here now RBI took a stance to move towards accommodative policy so that it will be helpful for improving of economic growth. So actually what is happening in the other countries, like geopolitical conditions, trade war is going on. That is our first article, right? So here, because of this global trade or trade war, also lots of tensions that we have because of imposition of tariffs. So what happens? Obviously, it will lead to the condition called as inflation and decreasing of economic growth. We have to fight for that. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said, nothing more than that. And see the image. So this image, if you're getting this kind of images regarding any traditional art form or any dance form or anything, that will be very important from your art and culture point of view. Actually, so this is one of the important martial dance form of state of Kerala. Okay, so here if you see, the name of this dance form is Velakali, Velakali. Okay, during the annual Painkuni festival at Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple in Tiruvananthapuram, Kerala, they perform this traditional martial dance form, and the name of this dance form is Velakali. Okay, so actually one important speciality of this dance form is it mainly symbolizes the battle between Pandavas and Kauravas. They are present in our Indian epic called as Mahabharata. And in this performance, around 101 artists, they represent 101 Kaurava warriors, and they will engage in choreographic sequences, and they will depict about the scenes from the legendary conflict between Kauravas and Pandavas. It is one important speciality of this dance form. And when this festival is celebrated every year in the month of March or April in Kerala. Okay, that's the thing that you have to remember. That's it. And let us see the next article. Very, very important article of the day. So what is the title? Title says, Kerala and Tamil Nadu to conduct joint Nilagiri Thar census from April 24. So from coming April 24 onwards, they are going to start this census. Census is nothing but counting of the population of now Nilagiri Thar. This animal number they are going to count. And which states are involving together? Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So from which subject you can see this, guys? From environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So if you see any animal or any plant species which is seen in news, so what thing that you have to see? You have to see about some basic features of that so and so animal. And in which area we can see that. And you have to see like what is the protection status. And you have to see what are the threats. And if there are any projects taken by the government for protection or not. See that. If there is anything, please try to add it on. So all these are the things that you have to see from this Nilagiri Thar now. Okay, what is the context? Context is nothing but they are going to do the census of this Nilagiri Thar from April 24 to April 26. That is nothing but within these 4 days they are going to do this census. And if you see some facts regarding this Nilagiri Thar, it is also known as Nilagiri Ibex. And it is endangered. It is protected under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. And actually, adult male of this Nilagiri Thar, they develop light gray area called as saddle on the backs. So this is very much famous for even saddle backs also. And it is a state animal of Tamil Nadu. And actually, it is mainly seen in Nilagiri region. So because of this, the name which got for this is Nilagiri Thar. And in which states of Western Ghats we can find it? In Tamil Nadu and as well as even in Kerala. So what are threats which are faced by this animal? Habitat loss is happening. Poaching, that is nothing but illegal killing. And next one here is local extinction is happening and climate change. So these are some important threats or the problems faced by this animal. And now let us see the next very important article. Okay, title says as wildfires scorch the earth, the Arctic biome rejects more carbon. So actually, if you're seeing the news from last 15 days in different newspapers, there are article called as Arctic wildfires. Arctic wildfires. So if you are seeing the globe, this is your equator, this is your Tropic of Cancer, this is Arctic Circle, this is 90 degrees north, North Pole, and this region is called as Arctic region, right? So in this Arctic region, what is happening, what is the problem here is global warming is happening. And even last month, there is one news that near this North Pole region, the temperature is more than 20 degrees centigrade. That means we are facing a huge problem of global warming. So actually this region is very much famous for polar region. That means nothing but this region is covered with what? Ice. That is called as permafrost. So whenever there is increasing of temperature, what happens? Melting of ice happens, right? So because of this melting of ice, lots of the problems which are happening in this Arctic region. So one important problem here is fires which are happening in this region. Okay, now let us see in detail. So actually, what are the factors which are leading to this Arctic wildfires? So there are three important reasons which are given by WWF, World Wildlife Fund. So what are the three reasons is? First one is increasing of temperature is nothing but global warming. And because of frequent lightning, do you know, because whenever the lightning happens, in some areas a fire which happens, especially whenever you are having dry twigs or dry grass or dry branches, if there is any lightning happens, that will create fire. Okay, through this method only, early humans, they discovered fire because of this lightning events only. So because of frequent lightning in this region, and each one is because of heat waves. So these are the three important reasons why there is a wildfire in this Arctic region now. So if you're talking about this frequent lightning, so here because of warming which led to the frequent lightning in this Arctic, that will lead to the likelihood of wildfires. So here there is one report which says that lightning has been doubled if you are seeing from 1975 onwards. And this one is increasing of sea temperature that you know, and increasing of heat waves. And what are the concerns now here is, okay, so here because of global warming, melting is happening. So because of melting, what is happening? Increasing of sea level. Because of this, it is also threat for different island nations, right? And next important problem here is, because of fires, what happened? We are releasing carbon dioxide emissions. We are releasing soot, PM 2.5, PM 10. That will further leads to increasing of more heat in that region. Second important point. And next one here is, you know, this permafrost is nothing but the area which is covered under snow at least from past 2 years is called as permafrost. Whenever this permafrost is melting means it is one of the important source of trapped carbon dioxide. So what happens if it is melting means that carbon dioxide will be entering into atmosphere. Again, that will lead to further increasing of global warming. So these are the threats now we have, okay, because of this melting of the permafrost and as well as fires which are happening in this region. Okay, so these are some important points that you have to remember, guys, from this article. And even these were the important topics that happened in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding, guys, and thank you so much for watching. And please do, once again, I'm asking you to join this demo classes, and the timings is 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. guys. And compulsory, please do subscribe to this Rathod Science Academy. Don't forget, and refer this channel for your friends also.